Did you know that storing vegetables the wrong way could be silently damaging your health, especially if you're over 60? Many seniors carefully choose what they eat, hoping to support heart health, reduce inflammation, and stay sharp. But what most don't realize is that how you store those vegetables can make all the difference. According to the CDC, seniors are more vulnerable to foodborne illnesses and nutrient deficiencies because their immune systems naturally weaken with age. Even more surprising, some vegetables lose nearly all of their health benefits when kept in the fridge, while others can actually grow harmful bacteria when stored at room temperature. So in today's video, we'll reveal 3 vegetables you should never refrigerate, and 3 you absolutely must keep cold to protect your body, your energy, and your quality of life. Stick with us to the end because what you learned today could not only improve your health, it could protect your life. Let's get started. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. 3 vegetables seniors should never refrigerate. 1. Garlic. Garlic has been treasured for centuries, not just for its flavor, but for its healing power. For many seniors, it's a daily ritual, a clove added to soup, sautéed into a warm meal, or taken raw for its heart-boosting effects. But what most people don't know is that putting garlic in the refrigerator quietly destroys much of what makes it so powerful. Garlic is a dry, resilient bulb. It's designed by nature to be stored in cool, dry, well-ventilated spaces. When you place it in the fridge, especially unpeeled, you disrupt that natural defense. The moisture and cold encourage it to sprout prematurely. On the outside, that may not seem like a problem, but inside, something more troubling is happening. That sprouting process breaks down the allicin, the very compound responsible for garlic's potent anti-inflammatory, cholesterol-lowering, and immune-supporting properties. What was once a natural medicine for the aging body now becomes weaker, bitter, and harder to digest. The flavor becomes harsh, the texture shifts, and worst of all, you're no longer getting the benefits you count on to protect your heart, improve circulation, or reduce inflammation in aching joints. But that's not the only risk. Many people, unknowingly, store chopped garlic in oil, thinking it's convenient. But when that mixture is kept cold without the right acidity or preservatives, it becomes a perfect breeding ground for Clostridium botulinum, a deadly bacteria that can cause paralysis and even death. Seniors with weaker immune defenses are especially at risk. And here's the price you pay for simply putting a powerful food in the wrong place: lost health, lost safety, and the quiet loss of a tool that could have been helping you heal every single day. When we lose garlic's potency, we lose more than just flavor. We lose its natural ability to support the very systems that weaken with age. That's not a small loss. It's a missed opportunity every single time we cook. The good news? You can restore its power by respecting its nature. Store whole garlic bulbs in a mesh bag or open basket, away from sunlight and moisture. Keep it dry, keep it breathing, and it will continue to protect you. But garlic isn't the only vegetable that suffers in the cold. The next one is sweet, nourishing, and often misunderstood. And when it's chilled, it doesn't just lose flavor. It could turn into something that harms your body instead of helping it. Let's talk about sweet potatoes. If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're with me. Now let's move on to point number 2. 2. Sweet potatoes. For many older adults, sweet potatoes are more than a comfort food. They're a symbol of warmth, home, and nourishment. They're packed with fiber, potassium, and slow-burning carbs that help regulate blood sugar, support digestion, and fuel the body gently, something every senior can appreciate. But few people realize that storing sweet potatoes in the refrigerator may quietly strip away these benefits, turning this wholesome root into a hidden threat. At first glance, the fridge seems like a safe place. It's cold, controlled, and it feels like it should extend shelf life. But sweet potatoes aren't built for the cold. When exposed to low temperatures, their internal chemistry begins to shift. The healthy complex starches, which are so good for heart health and energy regulation, start converting into simple sugars. And when you later bake or roast them, those sugars react under high heat to produce acrylamide, a chemical compound that's been linked to increased cancer risk in several studies. What you once thought was a hearty, healing food may now contain something that works against your well-being, especially as the body becomes more vulnerable with age. And it doesn't stop there. Cold temperatures also damage the cell walls of sweet potatoes, leaving them with an odd, gritty texture and a darkened interior that signals oxidation and nutrient loss. That beautiful golden orange flesh, rich in beta-carotene for eye health, begins to fade, not just in color, but in its ability to help your body. Here's the price you pay when you refrigerate sweet potatoes. You lose their softness, their integrity, and their nourishing properties. A food that could have supported your blood pressure, soothed your digestion, and given you lasting energy now becomes something far less, sometimes even harmful. And often you won't know it's happened until it's too late. But this isn't about fear. It's about restoring respect for the foods that sustain us. Sweet potatoes were meant to be kept in a cool, dark, dry space like a pantry or cupboard, not a cold, damp fridge. When stored properly, they stay firm, flavorful, and packed with everything your aging body still needs and deserves. And if sweet potatoes, something so familiar and comforting, can turn against us in the cold, what about the vegetables that change not just in chemistry, but in microbial risk? The next one may be sitting in your kitchen right now, and when refrigerated, it doesn't just spoil. It opens the door to bacteria that no aging immune system should have to fight. Let's talk about onions. 3. Onions. There's a quiet kind of wisdom in the way we cook, the ingredients we reach for without thinking, the rhythms we follow from years of habit. For many seniors, onions are one of those ingredients, always there, ready to bring life and depth to any dish. But what if something as familiar as storing onions in the fridge was silently working against your health? At first glance, it feels harmless. You peel an onion, use half, and into the refrigerator it goes. Or maybe you store the whole bulb in the crisper drawer, thinking the cold will make it last longer. But onions are naturally protected by their papery skin, which shields them from moisture and light when stored in a dry space. The refrigerator, by contrast, is the exact environment they're not built for: cold, damp, and enclosed. Once inside, onions begin to absorb moisture from the air. Their texture softens, their layers begin to break down, and their once sharp flavor turns dull or sour. But it doesn't end with taste. The excess moisture creates the perfect conditions for mold and bacterial growth, especially if the onion has already been cut. And while a younger body might tolerate a bit of spoilage, a senior's immune system can't afford that gamble. There's also something many people overlook: odor transfer. Onions, when chilled, release sulfur compounds that seep into other foods stored nearby. Butter, fruit, even leftovers can take on that unwanted sharpness. And for seniors who may have a reduced sense of taste or smell, this only makes meals more confusing and less enjoyable, robbing one of life's simple pleasures. But here's the price you pay, and it's more than just spoiled food. Improperly stored onions lose their powerful anti inflammatory compounds like quercetin, which plays a vital role in protecting joints, supporting circulation, and maintaining brain health. In short, the very vegetable that should be quietly helping you age better is now offering less, or even causing harm. Yet the solution is simple, and it's been around for generations. Onions should be stored in a dry, dark, well ventilated place like a basket or open shelf. Let them breathe, let them stay whole, and they'll continue to do their part in protecting your body one meal at a time. Now that we've uncovered the hidden dangers of refrigerating these three vegetables, you may be wondering which ones actually depend on the cold to keep you safe. Coming up next, we'll explore the vegetables that must be kept cold, or they'll spoil fast, lose their power, and quietly threaten your health in ways you'd never expect. If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, please comment number one below to let me know you're here. Now let's keep going with point number 4. Three vegetables you must keep cold or risk dangerous health effects. 1. Leafy greens. Leafy greens hold a special place in the lives of many seniors. They're light, easy to prepare, and loaded with nutrients that nourish the body from the inside out. Whether it's a handful of spinach in your morning eggs, a kale salad for lunch, or a few lettuce leaves tucked into a sandwich, these vegetables offer far more than color on the plate. They provide protection. They protect your heart, your brain, your bones, but only if they're handled with the care they deserve. Leafy greens are delicate. They begin to break down almost as soon as they're harvested. Their vibrant appearance may last for a few days on the counter, but underneath, a quiet decay is taking place. Unlike sturdier vegetables, greens are extremely sensitive to heat, moisture, and air exposure. Without proper refrigeration, their vitamin content, especially folate, vitamin K, and antioxidants like lutein, begins to disappear. These aren't minor nutrients. They're essential for cognitive clarity, blood clotting, and protecting your eyesight, all crucial to healthy aging. What's worse is that leafy greens can become dangerous when stored improperly. At room temperature, especially in warm kitchens, they wilt quickly. And as they wilt, moisture builds. That moisture creates the perfect environment for harmful bacteria like E. coli and Listeria, invisible threats that can lead to serious illness in older adults. These aren't rare cases. Outbreaks have happened, lives have been lost, and the elderly are always the most at risk. There's also something more subtle but equally damaging. When greens go bad, they lose more than nutrients. They lose appeal. They stop looking fresh, stop feeling appetizing. And for seniors who may already be struggling with decreased appetite or limited energy, even a small barrier to eating well can have lasting effects. The price you pay for not keeping greens cold isn't just measured in spoiled food. It's measured in missed nourishment, compromised immunity, and days when your body simply doesn't have what it needs to function well. But the answer is within reach. Store leafy greens in the refrigerator, ideally in the crisper drawer. Wrap them in a paper towel to absorb excess moisture and place them in a loose plastic or breathable produce bag. Treat them not as decoration, but as medicine in plant form, because that's exactly what they are. And if leafy greens lose their strength outside the fridge, what about the vegetables that seem hardy but actually wither in silence when left out? The next one is firm, familiar, and full of hidden value, but only if you keep it cold. Let's talk about carrots. If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, Please comment number 1 below to let me know you're with me. Now let's move on to point number 2. 2. Carrots. Carrots may seem simple, the kind of vegetable that's always just there, sliced into soups, roasted for dinner, or eaten raw as a quick snack. For many seniors, they're one of the most familiar and accessible sources of daily nutrition. But beneath their crisp texture and mild sweetness lies a delicate balance that can be easily disrupted. And storing carrots improperly, especially outside the refrigerator, means that much of their quiet strength begins to fade, sometimes before you ever take a bite. At room temperature, carrots begin to lose moisture quickly. They soften, shrivel, and lose that satisfying crunch that makes them enjoyable to eat. But texture isn't the only thing at risk. Carrots are especially rich in beta-carotene, the antioxidant that the body converts into vitamin A, critical for eye health, immune function, and skin integrity. And for older adults whose eyesight may already be weakening and immune defenses slowing down, vitamin A isn't optional. It's essential. When carrots sit out too long in warm air, beta-carotene begins to break down. The vibrant orange color starts to dull, and with it, the potency of what your body truly needs. And it gets worse. As the outer layers soften, they become more prone to mold, bacteria, and spoilage, particularly in humid environments. A vegetable that once offered protection can now become a risk, especially for seniors more vulnerable to foodborne illness. The price you pay for storing carrots at room temperature may seem small at first, a limp texture, a bit of discoloration, but over time, it's much more than that. It's the slow erosion of daily nourishment, the missed opportunity to support vision, reduce inflammation, and maintain strength in a body that's already working harder with age. And perhaps most importantly, it's the loss of trust in a food that was once reliable, now disappointing, unappetizing, and easy to ignore. But there's still time to protect what carrots offer. When stored in the refrigerator, especially in a perforated bag or breathable container, carrots retain their firmness, their nutrition, and their value. They stay ready to serve your health the way they were meant to. Still, even the sturdiest vegetables need protection. And next, we'll turn to a green vegetable that many seniors rely on for its cancer-fighting power and anti-inflammatory strength. But if left unrefrigerated, it quickly turns bitter, limp, and nearly useless, both to your plate and your body. Let's take a closer look at broccoli. 3. Broccoli. Broccoli is often called a superfood, and for good reason. It's one of the most nutrient-dense vegetables we have access to, packed with fiber, calcium, and a remarkable compound called sulforaphane, known for its cancer-fighting, anti-inflammatory, and detoxifying effects. For seniors in particular, broccoli can be a quiet defender of health, protecting cells from damage, easing inflammation in joints, and supporting digestion. But all of these benefits depend on one simple thing: keeping broccoli cold. Broccoli is more fragile than it seems. Though it stands tall with thick stalks and tightly packed florets, its inner chemistry begins to change the moment it's harvested. And once it leaves the cool environment of the farm or grocery store, time and temperature become the greatest threats to its nutritional value. Left at room temperature, even for just a day or two, broccoli begins to dehydrate and decay. The crisp green fades into a dull yellow. The texture softens. And most importantly, the sulforaphane, the very reason many people eat broccoli in the first place, begins to degrade. This powerful compound is highly sensitive to heat and exposure to air. Without refrigeration, it breaks down rapidly, robbing broccoli of the strength it was meant to deliver. And for older adults, That loss is more than just nutritional. It's deeply personal because broccoli isn't just food, it's fuel for the systems that weaken with age: the immune system, the bones, the digestive tract, even the brain. Without those protective compounds, your body is left a little more exposed, a little less supported, day by day. Then comes the price you pay. Broccoli that's been left out too long doesn't just lose its benefits when it becomes harder to eat, it turns bitter. The smell becomes sharp, even offensive. And for seniors who may already have a sensitive palate, digestive issues, or reduced appetite, this can make one of the healthiest vegetables suddenly unappealing. That leads to skipped meals, missed nutrients, and over time, a slow decline in the very areas of health broccoli was supposed to support. But here's the good news. It doesn't take much to protect it. Store your broccoli in the fridge, unwashed, in a loose produce bag. Keep it cool, but don't seal it too tightly. It needs to breathe, and use it within a few days of purchase while its natural defenses are still intact. Because when broccoli is stored right, it doesn't just nourish the body, it actively helps it fight. It helps you stay strong, stay clear-headed, and stay one step ahead of the silent changes that come with aging. So now you've seen both sides, the vegetables that wither in the cold and the ones that truly depend on it. But this isn't just about food anymore. Up next, we'll pull everything together and talk about the small, powerful choices you can make starting today to eat smarter, age stronger, and live better. Conclusion: the foods you keep may be keeping you back. As we close this conversation, I want to leave you not just with facts, but with something deeper, something personal. You see, the older we get, the more we learn that it's not always the big decisions that shape our health, but the small ones we repeat every day. The quiet routines in our kitchens, the way we store our food, the habits we picked up decades ago, often without question. And sometimes it's those very habits, those that feel the most familiar, that can quietly begin to work against us. What goes in the fridge and what stays out may sound like a minor detail, but in reality, it's a daily conversation with your health. The nutrients you lose from storing the wrong vegetable in the cold, the bacteria you unknowingly invite by leaving certain foods out, those choices build up. And over time, they impact how clearly you think, how easily you move, how steadily your heart beats, and how deeply you sleep. I'm not sharing this from a place of fear. I'm sharing this from experience. Like many of you, I grew up trusting the fridge as the safest place in the kitchen. We were taught that cold meant clean, fresh, and protected. But the truth is more nuanced. Cold preserves some things, but it destroys others. Knowing the difference, especially as we age, isn't just helpful. It's vital. Your body today is not the body you had 20 years ago, and that's not something to mourn, it's something to respect. It's working hard every day to keep you going. The least we can do is give it the right tools. And that starts with how we handle the food we eat. So here's what I encourage you to do, starting today. Go to your fridge and pantry. Take a look with fresh eyes. Ask yourself, is this food in the right place? Not based on habit, but based on understanding. Move what needs to be moved. Toss what might be spoiled. Create a system that serves the body you have now, not the one you used to have. Small changes, like keeping broccoli crisp or letting garlic breathe, can lead to big differences in how you feel. And don't keep this knowledge to yourself. Share it with your spouse, with your adult children, with the neighbor next door who may not know that leafy greens wilt with more than just time. You never know who might avoid illness or gain vitality from something as simple as a better way to store their vegetables. We all deserve to age with strength, clarity, and dignity. And if changing the way we use our refrigerator helps us get there, even just a little, then it's a change worth making. because in the end, food is not just fuel, it's care. And your body, at every age, deserves nothing less. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.